My name is Mrs. Bowers, and I'm going to be your teacher for English 1 or Honors English 1. So I thought I'd make a little slideshow just to kind of walk you through our schedule since we're starting so differently this year. I wish I could meet you all in person to begin with. That would certainly make things a lot easier for both all of you and then for myself. So unfortunately, that's not possible. So this is what we're stuck with. All right, a little bit about me. I've been teaching here at North. This is going to be my 24th year. So I've been here ever since I graduated from Otterbein, way back a long time ago. I grew up in a really small town named Dalton, Ohio, which is kind of up past Worcester, if any of you are familiar with that area. I'm a Cleveland sports fan, so unfortunately that doesn't always mean that I get to cheer a lot. Let's see, I have two boys. My oldest is 11. He'll be in sixth grade. His name is Jackson. And then my younger one, his name is Lucas, but we call him Duke, and he'll be in fourth grade. My husband, Silas, works in the city of Powell. And he, I think, brought me into Cleveland sports more so than I really want to be. I currently live in Sunbury, so my kids go to Big Walnut, which means they're going to school every day this year. They don't have to do the virtual stuff, which is nice. They're excited to go back. The pictures on the screen here, the one, of course, on top is my husband and myself. To the right are my two boys up at Alum. And then the one where there's a guy in between, that's actually a former North student who I went to visit, my family went to visit this summer at the Naval Academy. So he just graduated from there and is waiting to go to SEAL training out in California. So it was really cool to get to see him. And just to keep up with former students is always rewarding. Okay, that's enough about me for now. You'll learn throughout the year, I'm sure, a lot about me, probably more than you want to know. All right, the bell schedule for this year. So the bell schedule's tweaked a little bit from previous years just to accommodate the different school year that we're definitely going to have here. Most of you, I would venture to say, will have lunch fourth period, which is when I have it, from that 9:55 to 10:25, which is probably when most of you are ready to eat breakfast or you're just rolling out of bed, if you're even out of bed yet. So this is here just in case you ever need to check back. If we are going to do a live class session, the class will happen in whatever, the live session will happen in whatever period you have me. So if you have me first period and I say we're having a live lesson, that means you need to be on the computer ready to roll from 7:25 to 8:06. All right. And I will always let you know ahead of time what days of the week we're going to do live sessions. And then, of course, they will be recorded, but it's the expectation that you're there. So as long as you have the technology to do that and to access the live lessons, that's going to be what's best, because then you can ask questions as I'm explaining things and going over things. And I think it's going to be extremely important when we're talking about writing. Because I can't even imagine how I'm going to teach writing virtually, but the live sessions are going to be really important when we start covering writing topics, okay? This is my daily schedule, so I will be in my classroom by 7:25 every morning. So whatever period you have me, I am available to you during that period every day of the week. Well, Monday through Friday, I should say. So I start my day with English 1 advisory. I have a group of sophomores. Second and third period, I have my honors classes. I have lunch, like I said, fourth period. And then I follow that with an English class. And then we have study hall as a team. So Mr. Denny, myself, Mrs. Ho, we all will have a study hall that period. Ninth period, I have another English class. So any of those times that you have questions, I will be completely available for you. So you can email any questions. You can email that through Gmail, through Schoology, whatever the case may be. All right, so there are a lot of standards in English, language arts, that we cover throughout the year. And English is a different course in the sense that we're really building on to what you've learned in the previous years. It's scaffolded. So the headings are basically pretty standard throughout from the time you start school. So the first one is reading literature and informational text. And whenever we read fiction or informational text, we're going to focus on four key ideas. The first is key ideas and details. Can you use textual evidence to support whatever answers you're pulling out? Can you determine a theme or a central idea of the text, and then really trace its development and how you figured that out? Then we start looking at craft and structure, which is the meaning of words and phrases, your ability to analyze how an author has structured their text and why they did that, and the effect that that structure has on the meaning of the text. And then, of course, we'll also analyze point of view, which could be first person, second person, third person objective, third person omniscient, third person limited omniscient. So we will go over all of those things. Finally, I guess not finally, but second to last in this area, we'll deal with the integration of knowledge and ideas. So we may look at one topic through two different mediums. So we might read a text, and then we might look at a piece of artwork that really is kind of dealing with the same topic, and we'll analyze what each is saying and compare and contrast those things. Finally, you will be reading different text with different levels of text complexity. So you'll read stories, you'll read dramas, you'll read poems, you'll read U.S. documents, which I'll work together with Mr. Denny on. And we will, I guess, focus on things that are written at different levels as far as their difficulty. I will not give you anything that you cannot do. So even if it seems hard, sometimes that's a good thing, right? You have to struggle sometimes because that shows that you're learning something new. And learning new things isn't always easy. So I like to always refer to it as a productive struggle. You should think some things in my class are hard because I should be stretching you to learn more than what you knew before you came in to class with me. All right, the writing standards, probably the hardest I've found over the past few years for freshman students. We will do argumentative writing. We will do informative or explanatory writings. We will write narratives. So a lot of different things going on. We will talk about producing and distributing your writing, whether that means creating slideshows, whether it means writing an essay or writing a story, basically just the output of that. You will also be doing some research this year to build on, some idea that you will have some choice in. And then, of course, you'll have to present that. And there'll just be a range of writing. So each week, you're going to have a journal that you will write in. You'll do that at least 3 times a week. And then we'll also have different writing lessons throughout: how to answer short answer questions, extended response questions, how to organize your writing when you're doing an essay, gathering your evidence, integrating that evidence appropriately, citing all of your sources in the right way so that we're not plagiarizing. So there are a lot of writing aspects that we will cover this year in English 1. All right, then we get to the speaking and listening standards. First is comprehension and collaboration. You're going to both initiate and participate in discussions. And this, while we're at home and doing school virtually, this is going to be so important when it comes to tuning into those live sessions that we have, because that's going to give me the ability to really assess your speaking and listening skills and to cover those standards. You'll also have to present your knowledge and ideas on different things by giving speeches, by group presentations, using digital media to pump out information to the class, and things like that. The language standards, conventions of standard English, we'll talk about parallel structure, different types of phrases and clauses, and then we'll also talk about different punctuation marks as well as spelling. So the punctuation marks that are specifically noted in the English at the freshman level in our standards there are the semicolon and the colon. So we definitely will cover those two, but I usually start back and kind of review a lot of the other ones as well that you should have really already grasped prior to coming to high school. Knowledge of language is another group within this language standard. Knowledge of language means basically following guidelines for various types of writing. So, really, knowing your audience, choosing language that's appropriate. You are not going to write to me the same way you might text a message to a friend. You're obviously going to spell out words. You're going to try to use proper punctuation and grammar. Right? So, there are different times and places for everything. Vocabulary acquisition and use. We will talk about figuring out what words mean via context clues, patterns of word changes. That means the difference between knowing how something is done in past tense versus present tense and things like that. Pronunciation of words, understanding figurative language, and then the use of general academic and domain specific words and phrases. All right, so I'll explain all that as we begin to cover those throughout the course of the year. So some of the materials that we will be using. The first picture here is of our textbook, which you should have picked up during text pickup day. The second is just a picture I have representing the Odyssey, which is a story of Greek mythology. And then there's Romeo and Juliet. And then we're also going to read the novel All American Boys this year by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. So we're going to do Romeo and Juliet and All American Boys second semester. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're back in school by then because I think it'll be a lot easier. We're going to start the year with the textbook, doing some short story studies, really focusing on those elements of literature. And then we will go into the Odyssey. And while we read the Odyssey, I really focus on poetry as well. All right, so this is where the poetry comes in. We're going to read and analyze numerous poems from poets of diverse backgrounds covering a variety of topics. You will also, at some point this year, be reading a choice novel. Typically, I do one every 9 weeks, but since this year is a bit different, I'm probably just going to do one of those, hopefully once we're back in school, but it could be before then. And I usually do a personal narrative or a memoir for that, and I will give you a bunch of choices. And we do provide the books, so you don't have to worry about that. For our grammar and punctuation, I teach stuff like that, but I also use the program noredink.com, which many of you are probably already familiar with. So more information on that to come. Reading comprehension, obviously, we read a lot, we talk a lot, and then I also use commonlit.org to kind of push out shorter articles, and I really like commonlit.org because its questions are similarly structured to what you will see on your state test in the spring. And so I think that's a way of me teaching how to figure out how to answer questions that are multiple choice, different strategies that you can use. So I really like that program a lot as well. And Mr. Denny and I pair up on those commonlit.org articles often. Important info. All lessons and all of my assignments will be posted in Schoology. So that's going to be the hub of where everything happens this school year. Live lessons will occur weekly. Do your best to attend them so that you can ask questions, I can answer them. And that's also going to be when I get to know you, right? Because since we're not together every day, that is my biggest worry, is that I'm not going to get to know you like I would if you were here. There will be a lesson posted each weekday. And it'll be posted by 7:25 by the start of the school day. So please, the first thing when you get up and you start working on school, that's where you need to go. Grades will appear in Power School regularly. I have Schoology linked, so anything I grade in Schoology automatically goes right to Power School. I do believe in quick grading time because I think that the sooner you get feedback on your work, the more likely you are to pay attention to it and to make corrections based upon what you may have done incorrectly. You will be keeping an online journal that you'll be expected to write in at least 3 times per week. I will provide suggested topics each day, but you are free to write about really whatever you want. Some people just don't like all that freedom and they say, I don't have anything to write about. So I always give some off-the-wall topic that you can write about. All right, my contact information. My email is listed first. Then my school voicemail. So if you dial that, it goes directly to my voicemail. My classroom phone. Anytime during school hours, you can try that. That line comes right to my desk here. So if I'm in here, which I'll be in the school, but maybe not necessarily in my room every minute of the day. But that number, you can reach me there. And then, of course, our number directly to the school here is 614-797-6200. So most likely, at most points of the day, Mrs. Mattiota, our front receptionist, she will be answering that, and she can forward your call to my room or call for me and get me a message, whatever the case may be. All right. So that's kind of the general. You'll get more information, obviously, as we go along. Your first assignment, and it will be posted as an assignment in Schoology, but you're going to be creating a virtual bulletin board. All right. And on this bulletin board, you're going to introduce yourself through a combination of words, pictures, maybe all pictures. I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do. Then you'll add a description beneath the bulletin board explaining why you put on your board what you did. Okay. And there is a sample of the one I did for in the Schoology assignment. Sorry, I got to get my train of thought right here. So you'll be able to see kind of what I did and go from there. Okay. I'm looking forward to having a great year with you. I wish circumstances were different and you'd actually be in the halls here at Westerville North, but you're not. So we're going to make the best of it. I'm trying my best, and I hope that you try your best as well. And please, please, please reach out anytime you have a question. All right. If you are confused on anything, you can't access something, you don't understand how something's working or supposed to work, don't ever hesitate to email or call me, because I know that it's a struggle for many of you, and it's kind of been a struggle for me so far too. So I'm right there with you, and I am here to help. All right. Have a great first couple of days. And on Monday, you will see your first lesson posted in Schoology. So I will see you all then. Bye-bye.